You know that moment when your whole world tilts? When something you've been hiding in the quietest corner of your heart suddenly refuses to stay buried? That's what happened to me on a rainy October night when my best friend showed up at my door, soaked from head to toe, asking if he could stay over. My name is Ryan Chen, and this is the story of how one unexpected sleepover changed everything. The rain hit Seattle like it had something personal against the city. That Thursday evening, I was curled up on my apartment couch, grading papers, the glamorous life of a high school English teacher, when my phone buzzed. "Dude, are you home?" "I'm outside." My heart did that familiar, foolish little jump it always did when his name appeared. Marcus Webb, 6 feet of easy confidence, messy brown hair, and a smile that could calm any storm. We'd been best friends since freshman year of college, ever since he stepped in when someone in our dorm made a rude comment about me. The irony was never lost on me. The straight guy defending the gay guy who was secretly, hopelessly in love with him. I buzzed him in, taking one quick, pointless glance in the hallway mirror. Ridiculous. It was just Marcus. The same Marcus who'd seen me half asleep with the flu, who'd held my hair back when I got food poisoning, who knew all my terrible date stories and always found a way to make me laugh about them. When I opened the door, he stood there, drenched, his white t-shirt clinging to him, water dripping from his hair down his neck. My breath caught for half a second. "Jesus, Mark, what happened?" He flashed that sheepish grin that always meant trouble. "So, funny story. I got locked out of my apartment. My landlord's unreachable until Monday, and I might have left my wallet at the gym, which is now closed." "You're a disaster," I said, stepping aside. "Get in before you freeze." He walked past me, leaving little puddles behind, and I caught the scent of rain mixed with his warm, familiar collinsome I could probably recognize blindfolded. I hurried to grab towels, willing my heartbeat to calm down. "You can shower if you want," I said. "I'll grab you some clothes. You're a lifesaver, Ree." While he showered, I set out sweatpants and an old college hoodie on the bathroom counter. The sound of running water made my imagination wander places it definitely shouldn't. "Stop it, Ryan." Breathed by the time he came out. I'd made tea and ordered Thai food. He looked comfortable in my clothes, hair damp and tousled. Something about him wearing my hoodie made my chest tighten in a way I tried to ignore. "Thanks for this," I said, settling onto the couch beside me. "I know it's last minute. Please, you've crashed here plenty of times." Yeah, but he paused, and I caught something unusual in his face, a flicker of uncertainty I'd never seen before. "Things have been weird lately," my pulse picked up. "Weird how?" He picked at the edge of the blanket. "Did I tell you about Sarah?" Sarah, the latest in his line of girlfriends. Smart, kind, everything he should want. "You mentioned her. Things not working out?" "She broke up with me 2 weeks ago," gave a small, humorless laugh. "Said I was emotionally unavailable. She said I was holding back or something." "I'm sorry." "Man, don't be." He looked at me, then really looked tanned. I felt strangely exposed beneath his gaze. She said one more thing, something that's been stuck in my head. I swallowed. "What?" She said she felt like she was competing with someone, that I talked about you more than I talked about her, that the way I looked at you. He shook his head. "It's stupid. Never mind." The room suddenly felt too warm, too close. Rain hammered the windows, wrapping us in a cocoon of white noise. "Marcus," I said carefully, "I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest." His voice came out tight, nervous, so unlike the calm, easygoing Marcus I knew. "And maybe this will make everything awkward, but I can't keep pretending I don't think about it." My pulse thundered. "Okay, that night at Jake's party, senior year, remember? How could I forget? We'd been drunk celebrating graduation. We'd ended up on Jake's balcony, away from everyone, talking about our futures and the things we feared. For one quiet moment, we'd leaned so close I could count his eyelashes, could feel his breath brushing my lips. Then someone called us inside, and that moment dissolved, never to be mentioned again. I remember," I said softly. "If they hadn't interrupted." He turned toward me fully. There was something raw in his eyes. "Would you have kissed me?" The question snapped the air between us like a live wire. I could lie. I could laugh. I could protect the friendship that had kept me sane for years. Or I could finally stop running from the truth that had been eating me alive. Yes, I whispered. The word hit him like a jolt. He inhaled sharply, his eyes widening, and then, to my complete disbelief, he smiled. Not his usual warm grin. Something smaller, nervous, hopeful. "Would you kiss me now?" he asked, voice barely louder than the rain. I couldn't breathe. "Mark, you're straight. You've always been straight, have I?" He shifted closer, and I felt the heat radiating off him. Or have I just been telling myself that because it was easier than admitting that my best friend makes me feel things no one else ever has? You don't know what you're saying, don't I? His hand slid into mine, and the touch sent a current racing up my arm. "Ryan, I think about you all the time. I make excuses to see you. I compare everyone I date to you, and no one ever measures up. I thought it was just friendship. I kept convincing myself of that. But then Sarah said those things, and I couldn't stop thinking about that night on the balcony, about how much I wanted." His voice faltered. His hand trembled in mine. "Wanted what?" My voice came out rough. "To see what it would feel like," he breathed. "To kiss you. To stop pretending what I feel when I'm with you is just friendship." The world tilted. 5 years. 5 years of hiding, of aching silently, of watching him choose other people and smiling through the slow heartbreak. And now he was here in my clothes, in my living room, saying the words I'd only dared to imagine. "I'm scared," I admitted. "Scared this will ruin everything. Scared you'll wake up tomorrow and regret it. Scared I'll lose you? You won't lose me." He lifted our joined hands and pressed mine to his chest. His heartbeat pounded as wildly as mine. But I can't keep lying to myself. I can't keep wondering what if. Can you? The answer came from somewhere deep and tired and honest. No, I can't. I leaned in slowly, giving him every chance to pull away, to laugh, to remember he was straight and I was just the friend he confided in. But he didn't move. His eyes fluttered shut, lips parting in the smallest, softest invitation, and then thunder cracked so violently overhead that the windows shook. We both jumped. The moment shattered. Marcus let out a breathless, frantic laugh. "Even the universe is weighing in." "Mark." He stood abruptly, running both hands through his hair. "I should crash on the couch. Give us both time to think." A wave of disappointment punched through me, but I nodded. "Yeah, probably smart." I grabbed pillows and blankets, setting up the couch while he watched. The air between us felt heavy, charged with everything we'd said and almost done. When I handed him the last pillow, our fingers brushed. He shivered. "Good night, Ryan. Good night." I retreated to my room, closed the door, and leaned back against it, heart racing. My lips tingled from a kiss that hadn't even happened. I heard him moving around outside, settling on the couch. This was unreal. Marcus Webb, my supposedly straight best friend, had just asked if he could kiss me. Had admitted he felt things for me. It couldn't be real. Tomorrow I'd wake up and find it was just a dream I'd let myself believe for too long. I lay on my bed, staring at the ceiling. The rain pounded on. And in the living room, I knew no Marcus was awake too. The pull between us felt stronger than ever, impossible to ignore now. Everything had changed. And I had no idea what came next. I heard a shift of weight, the soft rustle of blankets. Marcus only, 20 feet away, still restless. My phone lit up. 1:47 a.m., then knock, knock, knock. My heartbeat stumbled. Yeah. The door opened slightly, and Marcus stood in the frame, lit by the soft glow from the kitchen. He'd taken off the hoodie, left only in a t-shirt and sweatpants, hair a mess from turning over on the couch. "I can't sleep," he murmured. "Me neither," hesitated. Then crossed the room and sat on the edge of my bed. The mattress dipped under his weight. I sat up, pulling my knees to my chest. In the dim light, I could make out the shape of his profile, the strong line of his jaw, the curve of his shoulder. "We need to talk about this," he said quietly. Really talk about it? Okay. He stayed silent for a long moment, gathering his thoughts. When he finally spoke, his voice was raw, vulnerable in a way I had never heard before. I grew up in a small town in Montana. You know that? What you don't know is how many times I heard my dad and his friends use slurs. How clear they made it that being gay was wrong. How many times I laughed along because I was scared of what would happen if I didn't. My chest tightened. Mark, let me finish, please. He took a shaky breath. When I met you in college, you were so yourself. Unapologetically out, confident, kind. You didn't care what anyone thought, and I admired that more than I ever said. But I also felt this pull toward you that I didn't understand, and it terrified me. He turned to face me, and even in the darkness, I could see the emotion gathering in his eyes. Started dating girls in high school, because that's what everyone expected. And I liked them, my did boot something, always felt off. Like I was going through the motions. Like there was a part of me locked away and I didn't know how to deal with it. You don't have to explain, but I do. His hand found mine, fingers weaving through mine in the dark. Because I need you to understand, this isn't some confused straight guy experimenting. This isn't me questioning things for the first time. Ryan, I've been questioning for years. I was just too scared to admit it, even to myself. His confession hung between us fragile and precious. When did you know? I asked softly. He gave a small, strained laugh. Remember sophomore year? Spring break? We drove to California, just the two of us. I remembered it vividly. 10 hours in my old Honda, singing off-key to terrible music. Living on gas station snacks, watching the sunset melt into the Pacific. One of the best weeks of my life. We were at that bonfire in Santa Cruz, he continued. You were talking to that surfer guy, tall blonde. He was flirting with you, and you were laughing at something he said. And I felt this jealousy so sharp, I had to walk away. I told myself it was just protective friend stuff. But deep down, I knew. I wanted to be the one making you laugh like that. My breath caught. Why didn't you tell me? Because I was scared. His grip tightened around my hand. Because admitting how I felt meant admitting I wasn't who I thought I was, meant risking what my family would think, meant facing everything I'd spent my whole life trying to bury. So I pushed it down. I dated girl after girl, trying to feel something that compared to what I felt with you. His voice broke. And now I'm 27, and I'm tired. Tired of pretending. Tired of watching you go on dates with other guys and feeling like my heart's being ripped out. He lifted my hand and pressed a soft kiss to my knuckles. The tenderness of it made my whole body shiver. I know I might lose my family. And I know this won't be simple. But Ryan, I can't live a lie anymore. Tears blurred my vision. I didn't even realize when I had started crying. I've loved you for 5 years, I whispered. Since the day you stood up for me in our dorm. Since you stayed up all night helping me study for organic chemistry, even though you were barely passing it yourself. Since every small moment between us that felt like more than friendship, his voice cracked. God, I wasted so much time. No. I cupped his face, feeling the rough stubble of his jaw and the warmth of his own tears. You needed time to understand yourself to be ready. I would have waited 5 more years if that's what you needed. I don't want to wait anymore, he said. I don't want to wonder. I don't want to be afraid. And don't be, I whispered. When we leaned toward each other, nothing stopped us. His lips met mine soft at first, tentative, a question and an answer in the same breath. He tasted like mint and new beginnings. When I gasped, his hand slid gently to the back of my neck. Drawing me closer, it was everything I'd imagined, and somehow entirely new, because imagination couldn't compare to real warmth. Real closeness, real emotion, couldn't capture the years of longing and fear and hope finally cracking open in one perfect, trembling moment. When we finally pulled apart, both breathless, he rested his forehead against mine. Holy. Wow, he breathed. I laughed, dizzy with relief and wonder. Yeah. He swallowed hard. Can I stay here? With you? I shifted, pulling back the covers in silent invitation. He slid in beside me, and we faced each other in the quiet darkness, hands finding each other beneath the blankets. "I'm still scared," he whispered. "Me too. But I want this. I want you. We'll figure it out together." His thumb traced light circles on the back of my hand. I'm probably going to be awful at this at first. I've never dated a guy. I've never even admitted I was attracted to men until tonight. "You don't need all the answers right away," I said gently. "You don't need a label until you're ready. What matters is that you're being honest with yourself and with me." He hesitated, then said softly, "I think I'm bisexual." He tested the word like it was something delicate. Does that make sense?" "It makes perfect sense," I said, squeezing his hand. "And thank you for telling me." We stayed awake for hours, talking like teenagers at a sleepover, sharing secrets we'd held close for years. He told me about the first time he noticed he was attracted to men, a movie star in some action film when he was 15, and how he'd immediately pushed the thought away. About moments at the gym when he caught himself staring and hated himself for it. About the relief and fear of finally naming his feelings. I told him about coming out to my parents at 16, the worry, the eventual acceptance. About every time I'd almost confessed my feelings to him and couldn't. About nights I'd cried quietly, convinced I would spend my life loving someone who could never love me back. "I'm so sorry," he whispered, "that you had to hide it, that I made you feel like you couldn't tell me. You didn't make me do anything," I said. "I was protecting myself and our friendship." "What if I'd figured this out sooner?" he asked, voice thick. "What if I'd dealt with my stuff earlier?" "Then maybe we wouldn't be ready for this now," I said. "Maybe we needed to grow into the people who could make this work." He pulled me closer, gently tucking my head beneath his chin. I could feel his heartbeat steady and warm against my cheek. His hand traced slow, gentle patterns along my back, and I had never felt safer or more settled. It was like I was exactly where I was meant to be. "Ryan," he murmured, "I know we need to take this slow and figure things out. But I need you to know this isn't some experiment for me. It's not curiosity. When I'm with you, everything finally makes sense. You're it for me. You've always been it for me." I tilted my head up to look at him. Even in the dark, the sincerity in his eyes was unmistakable. "You're it for me too," he said. He kissed me against lower this time, soft and full of promise. When we pulled apart, he settled back into the pillows, keeping me close. "Get some sleep," he whispered. "We can handle everything else tomorrow." Everything else felt huge, telling friends, his family, navigating this new shift between us. But for now, in this quiet moment, with the rain outside and Marcus's arms around me, I let myself simply feel happy. I woke up near dawn and found Marcus watching me, a soft smile on his face. "How long have you been awake?" I asked, my voice rough with sleep. "A while. I keep thinking I'll wake up and all this will turn out to be a dream." He brushed a strand of hair from my forehead. "But you're real. This is real. Very real. Want to take you on a date," he said suddenly. "A real date dinner? Maybe a movie? The whole thing. I want to do this right." My heart melted. "You don't have to. I want to," he insisted. "I've watched you go on first dates. Listen to you talk about guys taking you out. I want to be that guy. I want to court you properly, Chen." I laughed at the old-fashioned word. "Court me?" "Absolutely. I'm going to be the best boyfriend you've ever had." He paused, suddenly nervous. "If you want that? If you want me to be your boyfriend, Marcus Webb," I said, smiling. "Are you asking me to be your boyfriend at 6 in the morning after one kiss?" "I'm asking after 5 years of being an idiot who didn't realize he was in love with his best friend." He cupped my face, eyes earnest. "So, what do you say?" What could I say? The answer had always been yes, from the day I met him, through every chapter of our friendship. Through every quiet moment of wishing, "Yes," I said, and kissed him to seal it. Sunlight streamed through my bedroom windows when I woke again, wrapped around Marcus like he was my favorite blanket. His arm lay across my waist, his breath warm against my neck. I stayed perfectly still, scared that moving might break the fragile magic around us. "I can feel you thinking." Marcus mumbled against my shoulder. "Sorry. Didn't mean to wake you. I'm not complaining." He pressed a sleepy kiss to my neck, sending shivers down my spine. Morning, boyfriend. Boyfriend. The word sent a thrill through me I couldn't hide. Marcus noticed and grinned. You like that, huh? Maybe, I said, turning to face him. His hair was a wild mess, sticking up everywhere, and he had pillow lines on his cheek. I'd never seen him look more beautiful. We should probably talk logistics. I said. Logistics, he repeated, expression sobering. You mean telling people, my family, and how we handle things at work? My students can smell gossip from a mile away. I traced small patterns on his chest. I don't want to push you into coming out before you're ready. He went quiet, thinking. I want to tell people. I won't pretend it's not scary, but I'm done hiding. Grimaced. My family is going to be the hard part. We don't have to tell them right away. No. I think I need to rip the Band-Aid off, he sighed. My dad is going to panic. My mom will probably cry. My brother might be cool with it. Or he might ignore me for months. Hard to know with him. I laced our fingers together. I'll be there with you. If you want me to be, I want you there for everything. He kissed my forehead. But first, I'm taking you on that date tonight. If you're free, I'm free. Good, he stretched. I hate to break this up, but I desperately need coffee and a shower. My clothes from yesterday should be dry by now. We reluctantly untangled ourselves and wandered to the kitchen. I started the coffee while Marcus checked his phone, instantly wincing at the flood of notifications. My landlord finally texted, and he frowned. 3 messages from Jake. Someone saw us leaving the Thai place last night and mentioned it at the gym. Jake, part of our friend group. Great guy. Absolutely terrible at keeping anything quiet. My stomach tightened. What did he say? He just asked if we were hanging out. But you know Jake, he's probably already forming theories. Marcus set his phone down and pulled me close. Hey, it's okay. We were going to tell people anyway, right? Right, I just thought we'd have more time to figure out how to say it, he said, smirking. We could just show up to next week's game night and make out in front of everyone. That would clear things up fast. He laughed despite the nerves twisting in my stomach. You're ridiculous. You love it. Kissed me quickly, then deeper when I wrapped my arms around him. We broke apart only when the coffee maker beeped, both of us breathless. Okay, I seriously need that shower before I do something unwise. Inadvisable, huh? I teased. He gave me a look that sent heat straight through me. Ryan Chen, you are my boyfriend now, which means I'm going to think about kissing you way too much. And if I don't shower right now, I'm going to kiss you until neither of us can think straight and we'll both be late for our grown-up responsibilities. Would that be so bad? Tempting, he said, but I want to do this right. Real dates first. Everything else later. He kissed my forehead and disappeared into the bathroom. I poured coffee, trying to process everything that had happened in less than 12 hours. Marcus was my boyfriend. Marcus had feelings for me. Marcus wanted to tell people to build something real. It felt unreal. Like any second, something might break the spell. My phone buzzed. A text from my sister Lauren. Mom wants to know if you're coming to Sunday dinner. Also, is everything okay? You sound weird. I hadn't even talked to her. How did she already know something was different? Sister intuition was no joke. Everything's great. Better than great. I'll explain Sunday, she replied instantly. Oh my God. You met someone. Something like that. Details now Sunday. Promise. Marcus came out of the bathroom. Hair damp. Wearing his clothes from yesterday. Somehow he looked even better. This was going to be a problem. I should go home, get changed. Deal with my landlord, he said. Pick you up at 7. 7 works. At the door, he hesitated, then cupped my face and kissed me long and deep enough to wipe my mind clean. When he pulled back, we were both grinning. See you tonight, boyfriend. See you tonight. After he left, I drifted through my apartment in a daze, still smiling like I couldn't stop. I called Lauren back. Okay, Spill, she said immediately. Who is he? I'll tell you on Sunday. I promise. But Lauren? It's Marcus. Silence. Then wait. Marcus. Marcus. Your best friend Marcus? Yeah, I said. Ryan Chen, she said. I need the full story right now. I told her everything well, the PG-13 version. By the time I finished, she was practically screaming into the phone. This is literally the best thing I've ever heard. Mom is going to flip. She's been shipping you two for years. Mom is not, I protested. She absolutely has. She's always saying how you light up when you talk about him. Dad, too? They're going to be unbearable about this. The thought of my parents reacting like that made me smile. They'd been supportive since I came out, but I knew they still worried about me finding someone who genuinely valued me. And they'd loved Marcus from the moment they met him. I'll tell them on Sunday, I said, along with everyone else. I'm so happy for you, Ree. You deserve this. Marcus picked me up at 7 sharp, looking unfairly handsome in dark jeans and a button-down. He handed me flowers, actual flowers, like something out of a rom-com, and I felt myself falling even harder. You brought me flowers. I told you I was going to do this right, he said, suddenly nervous. Is it too much? It's perfect. He took me to a cozy Italian place in Capitol Hill, tucked on a quiet side street. Candles on every table, soft jazz drifting in the background, romantic without going overboard. Over pasta and wine, we talked about everything and nothing. He told me about his week as a physical therapist, how passionate he was about helping his patients recover. I told him about my students, including the kid who finally had a breakthrough with To Kill a Mockingbird, but underneath all the normal conversation was something electric. The way he looked at me like I was the only person in the room, the way our feet kept brushing under the table, the way he stole bites of my food, and I pretended to be annoyed, but secretly loved every second. Can I ask you something? He said over dessert. Always. What was your first thought when I showed up at your door last night? I considered lying, then remembered we were past that point. Honestly, that you looked unfairly good soaking wet from the rain. I needed to get it together because you were straight, and my best friend and I couldn't keep torturing myself. He laughed. And now I think I'm the luckiest person alive. I reached across the table, and he took my hand immediately. Your turn, I said. What were you thinking when you asked if you could kiss me? That I was about to either ruin the best friendship I've ever had or start the best relationship I've ever had, he said. I was terrified and excited and so tired of pretending. And if you said no, I would have respected it, but I would have always wondered. What if? I'm glad you asked. Me too. After dinner, we walked through the neighborhood, fingers intertwined. The rain had stopped, and the city sparkled under streetlights. Marcus kept pulling me closer, like he couldn't stand even a few inches of distance. I have a confession, he said quietly. I've been planning this for weeks. The restaurant, I mean. I made the reservation before Sarah and I broke up. Stopped walking. What? I told myself it was for a business dinner, but I think part of me already knew I was going to work up the courage to tell you how I felt. He turned toward me. Getting locked out last night, that was real. But maybe it was the universe giving me a little push. You're such a romantic, I teased. Only for you, he said. We ended up at Cary Park, overlooking the city. The Space Needle glowed in the distance, and the hum of Seattle filled the air. He wrapped his arms around me and swayed gently, like we were listening to music only we could hear. Thank you, he said softly. For what? For waiting. For being patient. For being you. He pulled back to look at me. I still have a lot to figure out about my identity, about what all of this means, but having you makes it less scary. You don't have to have it all figured out, I said. We'll figure it out together. I kissed him soft, warm, steady. That's what partners do. Partners, he echoed. I like that. We stayed there until the cold finally drove us back to my car. On the drive home, Marcus held my hand over the center console, tracing slow patterns on my skin with his thumb. Come up, said when we reached my apartment. Thought you'd never ask. Inside. We dropped our jackets and shoes, and I put on music, something gentle, something that made the world feel softer. Marcus pulled me onto the couch and tucked me against his side, his arm around me. This is nice, he murmured into my hair. Yeah, Ryan. I love you. His voice was quiet but certain. I know it's fast to say it, but it's not new. I think I've loved you for a long time. I just didn't know how to name it. My heart felt too full. I tilted my head up to meet his eyes. I love you too. I have for years. Kissed me deep, slow, full of everything we'd never said. We stayed like that for a long time, trading quiet words and kisses, discovering this new version of us. Later, we curled up in my bed, just sleeping, taking things slow like he promised. I felt more at peace than I ever had. Marcus fell asleep quickly, his breathing steady, one arm draped across my waist. This was real. This was happening. My best friend was my boyfriend. And we were building something beautiful. Would there be challenges? Absolutely. His family might struggle. There would be awkward moments and heavy conversations. But we'd face them together. For now, I let myself simply be happy, be in love, be exactly where I was meant to be. Your dad is staring at me again. Marcus whispered. I glanced across my parents' living room where Marcus was helping my dad set up for Sunday dinner. Sure enough, Dad was watching him with that satisfied look he got when everything was going exactly how he'd hoped. He's not staring, I said. He's admiring his future son-in-law. Marcus nearly dropped the plates he was holding. Ryan Chen, are you trying to give me a heart attack? Too soon? I teased. Ask me again, in a year. But he was smiling, that soft, private smile that belonged only to me. Things had been good. Really good. Marcus came out to his family the week after our first date. His mom cried, but they were happy tears. She hugged him for 10 whole minutes. His dad struggled at first, needed time, but he was starting to come around. His brother shrugged and said, Cool, so you're bringing Ryan to Thanksgiving, right? Our friends had been completely supportive, though Jake claimed he'd known the whole time. He definitely hadn't. Marcus's journey was still unfolding. He was seeing a therapist, reading about bisexuality, connecting with the LGBTQ+ community. And through all of it, we were building something real and lasting. Boys, dinner. My mom called. We gathered around the table, my family, Marcus's mom, a few close friends. This was our new normal. These Sunday dinners where our worlds overlapped, where Marcus fit into my life and I fit into his. Under the table, Marcus found my hand and laced our fingers together. I squeezed back. A silent conversation. I love you. I love you too. Lauren raised her glass. A toast to Ryan and Marcus IV, proving that sometimes the best love stories start with friendship. To Ryan and Marcus, everyone echoed. I looked at Marcus as my best friend, my boyfriend, my partner, and saw my whole future in his eyes. A future filled with Sunday dinners, inside jokes, and slow mornings tangled together. A future with challenges we'd face side by side and victories we'd celebrate together. A future built on years of friendship and a love that had been quietly waiting for us to be brave enough to claim it. The rain that brought him to my door that October night wasn't just a storm. It was the beginning. The start of us. The start of everything that mattered. The rain that brought him to my door that October night wasn't just a storm. It was the beginning. The start of us. The start of everything that mattered.